What's up, everybody? It's your boy. So I wanted to share with you where I am with my 10-inch helmet that I'm making for my 12-year-old son. Just kind of scrolling through a couple of the patterns that are on point. He wanted all of the patterns to go in one direction versus the helmet that's in the earlier episodes. And just want to scroll through these. As you can see, the only thing that's not perfect is you'll notice right here the diagonal is one LED behind, and that's right. It wasn't a big deal for me. Now, it would have been perfect if my son said, hey, I want this bottom section to go in the opposite direction, because there's 12, but he wanted them all to go this way, which looks pretty cool. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then what I did with the middle wire, the controller wire, I split it off the controller, which I'll show you in a sec, and then that runs this second group. And this isn't two full strands because it's a smaller helmet, and you can see there's only 12 strands here, but that's the pattern that you can get doing it this way. And these are the eyes, so you can see there, that's where the eyes are going to go. So I'm trying to make this go a little bit quicker. I'm getting all the back wiring done, which I'll show you in a sec. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to realign some of these here. I'm going to cut this, realign these, figure out which one I want to cut, and then I'm going to run wires either between the LEDs and then across and then down and reconnect it. I think that's probably what I'm going to do, but I'll do that in another video. And again, I'm not doing the mouth because the mouth's blacked out, so it really doesn't matter. So let me show you some soldering kind of pointers, best practices that might help you out. So on here, this is the main lead that goes to the controller right there. So you can see I plugged it directly into the controller, which goes into the battery pack. And that is connected to the one that's connected via USB. The USB is already 5 volts, which is what these lights are, which again, every single thing that's in this video is, there's a link in the description so you can find it on Amazon if you want to actually do this yourself. Then I have the 9 volt connection, which is here, not 12 volt, it's 9 volt. 9 volt is this one right here. And I'm pretty sure that's a 9 volt. Doesn't matter. That's connected to the drop down, which is what I'm calling it, that sends a signal. So it goes in here, comes out here, there's a red light, lets you know it's working. That knocks it down to 5 volts. And then that goes from that USB connection into this, as you can see there. I have 2 wires coming out, so it goes here, connects to this adapter, which again, everything is, the link is in the description. Just click the link and I'll open it up and show you exactly what it is. This comes like in a pack of 10, and but it's really cheap. 2 wires coming off that, one's positive, one negative. And if you saw my wiring diagram video in one of the earlier episodes, you'll see how I did this. And so what I did is I ran those 2 wires basically to sort of like a bundle. And then here I kind of splintered off. Again, it's in the video I did a couple episodes ago. And I have these 2 leads that are every third. So your main line, 1 strand, second one, this one between here and here, because this basically is jumping. Let me see if I can get a pattern that makes it easy to see. Let's go back here. Okay, this might make more sense. So basically the signal is coming from this one and it's jumping to here. Here to here. See how it's going up? Bloop, it's going up. So when this is together, it's going to look like that. So it's going from the bottom one and then jumps up to the next one. See how they're all jumping up one? And so I have the three wires. Cut this off. 3 wires coming from here. It doesn't matter if well, this just happens to be negative here and positive on the bottom. And so that runs positive to this positive over here. And so there's, it's an even negative to negative, middle to middle, which is your data, your controller, and then bottom to bottom, which is positive to positive. And so basically it's here, goes all the way around to here, jumps to this one, goes all the way around to this one, jumps to this one. And I do that all the way around, so you're always at a diagonal this way. And then every third, I'm splicing, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm splicing, see how this is spliced? And I have one that goes from the plus, so you can see there's the pluses on the bottom. I have one going from the plus to this bundle here, and I'm to this bundle here, and then this bundle goes into that green thing back there that has the plus. And so every third one, and then I also do it, so I do the positive and I do the negative. There's only 2 wires. You're not using the middle one. The middle one, there's no power on that one. So then I'm going from here, the positive and the negative, and I go down to that bundle that's under here, that's in there. And what I did is I just twisted them all together as I was going. I made I stripped it maybe about 1 inch long when I was stripping the wire. And then I would just take them here and I just twisted them on each other. So it was like a whole bunch of twist. And then when I was done, I went back and put a glob of solder. I just got the soldering iron. I just globbed all over the thing. So it's like mended to be like, one big solid piece of metal all in there. And then I wrapped it with black duct tape, because that electrical tape, it's not meant to really hold real good. But that Gorilla Tape, I mean, it ain't coming off. Wrap that all up. What that allows to do, if you saw one of my previous videos, it took me forever to figure this out, is it keeps the power the same. So if I turn on white, notice how these are all, that's not blue, that's because I have a piece of blue painter's tape on there, which I really don't need anymore. So all these are the same color, see, it's the same brightness. For the most part, I think this very, very, very first one might be slightly brighter, but you can barely tell. Especially, and then when you do any kind of colors, you definitely can't tell. They're all, all the colors are perfect. But the whites, is your gauge to your wiring. But if you don't do that, this right here will start turning yellow, and it'll eventually start turning red, and then it'll just stop working. So every third one, just if you're doing a 10-inch one. I think if you're doing the 12-inch, it's fairly similar. Every third one, you might have to do every second wire, every other one on the big one. But that one there, which I'm painting this weekend, and that will all of a sudden I'll go from like a yellowish white to boom, and go back to white. But every third one, so I have one, two. No, that's not right. 1. Skip this one. 2. 3, and then 4, and then the very last one I put one on. So I think that's what I did. 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, actually, I think I did more than that. But it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Basically, when you're going through this, if it looks like it's turning yellow, just splice the power and the negative, splice the power and the negative to your bundle. It doesn't matter. You can do them every other one if you really wanted to. It doesn't matter. You're not hurting anything. And all of a sudden your light will go from like a yellowish to boom, to go white, and then you're good. And you go on to the next one. And the reason I have these pieces of tape here is because when I push this together inside the tube, these are going to be like end to end. It's going to be tight, and it's going to be a perfect pattern, because if you saw from the previous video, it's like right on point. But I don't want, by accident, if something happens, I don't want this end to not this one because this is wrapped in plastic or rubber. I don't want this end to touch this end. So that black tape between them is preventing, so when you squish this together, the circuits from accidentally touching where you have your soldering on the back side of that. might have to put a little more piece of tape on this one. And that's just more of a precautionary thing so you're not messing up the signal between the two. It looks bad here, it doesn't matter, but once it goes in the tube, it's gonna be locked in there and you're gonna be good. And then what I'm gonna do, so basically there's that gap. And so what I'm doing is when it goes in the tube, it's gonna overlap. That's why these cables are so long. It's gonna overlap. I've already measured it. So I gave myself, I think it was about maybe 7 inches of slack on these extensions. So when I put it in the tube, it's gonna go like this. The tube's gonna kind of overlap. You can see it's gonna go this way. It's gonna overlap on itself. I'm gonna slide it down in there, and then I'm gonna open it up, and it's gonna fit perfect, just like this, as you might have saw in a previous video. And so all these wires work. It's money. It's good. Actually, the pattern on this I was showing my son looks so much better than, especially when you get into like this diagonal, looks so much better than my helmet, because that was the learning experience for me. And if you watch my videos, your pattern, if you want, will be perfect like this. Also on this one, I realized because it's smaller and I'm going every other, I'm not doing these end to end like I did in the big one. And I'm not even using, I'm using like one whole roll plus like 3/4 of another roll, maybe 2/3 of another roll of lights. It's not even 2 full rolls. And so I'm not needing, in the smaller one, I think it was a big one because it's just a bigger diameter, you need this. I'm not using the signal booster or repeater to keep the signal going. What I did here to make this work, like I mentioned earlier in the video, is I spliced, and I'll show you exactly what I did. So here's the remote, comes in here, and I didn't need these. I might just probably trim those extra wires off. That just comes standard with it. But you'll see right here, the green wire that comes off the middle of this very first row, I spliced it right there, the green one. And I ran that cord all the way down. If you're counting these, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. The 7th one, I ran that extra signal down here to the start of this next one, because remember the arrows on the cords are going this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I ran that splice right to that 7th one. And because the signal, once you got to about 6.5, the signal wasn't strong enough anymore, and it would break right here. It'd stop. These wouldn't illuminate. So the middle cord, the green cord of number 6, at the end of number 6, I didn't take number 6 and go to number 7 on these wires. At the end of number 6, I just stopped. The green cord, I did not extend it over because it wasn't strong enough to bring the signal. So that signal stops. I'm jumping the main signal from here, directly from the source, to number 7, and it worked perfect. So if you're doing a 10-inch cylinder, this is a great way to save you some time. I'm just flying through this compared to the big helmet. And so again, this was my learning experience. And so I'm just doing this so if you have an interest in doing this, you can save yourself a ton of time. And so then my next little thing to do on this, because now all these are working, like I said, is I'm gonna go around here and I'm gonna, one by one, I'm gonna just basically, because the arrows are going this way, I'm gonna trim closest one over here. Actually, this one, because it's right near the top of the helmet, I might just to save you some time, I might just black these out right here, because they're gonna be right here in the very top. So the ones that are gonna be right here in the very top, where my son's eyeballs won't even be, because he's like right here, I might just black those out where they would go over the tint, just so I don't have to go through the effort of cutting and running the wires here. And so that'll be fine. I don't really care about that. But I'm gonna black them out from the inside so it doesn't shine through, and you won't even be able to see it while you're wearing it, because this is, when he's got this on, you can't even see in there. So basically from here down, which will probably be like 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm only gonna have to deal with 4 strands that I'm gonna cut and have to splice and reconnect over here. So hopefully that helps. And any comments, questions, suggestions, let me know. And if you're loving this, or if this is helping out in any way, give me a subscribe. Let me know what you got. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll talk to y'all later.